It's here.
Alhamdulillah. Let's start. Okay.
Yes.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. I welcome you to the Sayyidat Global Talk Show. I am back again with a very interesting episode of Sayyidat Global Talk Show, and I welcome you again. And I'm really grateful to you that besides your very busy schedule, you accepted my request to join me as a guest speaker in my talk show. How are you, my dear? Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, Rahul. Thank you so much, Fatma, for having me over. And it's an honor, really, because I have seen all your work, and the kind of awareness you're bringing about. Hats off to you, mashallah.
Jazakallah khair. You are an old member of Sayyidat, right? How long have you been here?
Yes.
How
I
long?
think over 5 years, 6 years, maybe. I don't even remember. I think the first time the group was formed, I was pretty much one of the initial members, and I silently follow. I'm like, okay, the posts are like this. When people they talk about a lot of issues, sometimes I participate, which is relevant, and sometimes I do not participate because unnecessary talk. You don't want to lengthen it up. ज़्यादा लंबा नहीं करना चाहते आप
Yes.
तो it's like okay चलता है.
Yes, I've seen your work on my wall. Like I've been looking at your live talks about the profession you are in, but I didn't see you very much participating in the group. That's why maybe you're not very known in the group. But I've seen your work, mashallah. That's why you're here, and I like your work.
Exactly.
First of all, I would like to introduce you to the audience that we have here. I'll just read fast the biodata that you sent me. Fatmah Ali is the Vice President of Master English Education and Training GCC. She is also the Program Director of the ELTAD-MA program and works as an education and accreditation consultant. Ms. Ali has been awarded thrice, mashallah, by MENA and GFEL awards for being the influential educator, oh my, mashallah, mashallah, in the Middle
Alhamdulillah.
East. Oh, mashallah, mashallah. And this is a very brief biodata of yours. We would like to know more about you, like where are you from, your education qualifications, and why and when did you come to Saudi Arabia, your family support, like general queries.
Okay. Now let me start with my very own existence. My existence has been on this land, born and raised here in Saudi Arabia, alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah.
So alhamdulillah, well settled with my family. I'm married to a Saudi, previously an Indian, but
Uh,
now, yes, previously an Indian, but now a Saudi. And I've got
you are
Saudi
from?
kids. Yeah, my roots are Indian.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but we've got extended family members who live in Pakistan, who live in Canada, United States. You know how we are so diverse, mashallah, alhamdulillah. And then I got married the age of 23 after
MashaAllah.
completing nearly my masters. And then after since then I've been working. I've got two daughters and one small son right now, alhamdulillah.
Yes, MashaAllah.
Yeah,
MashaAllah.
but yes, alhamdulillah. So it's been long. It's a lot of people, they tell me that yes, I'm the bint of Balad. My Arabic is fluent, but not as fluent as the nationals would have it. Because we come from a very
Of
mixed
course. Of
kind of
course.
a setup, right? But then pretty much here, pretty much with the country, pretty much supporting the country, alhamdulillah. And what I aim to do basically, Fatima, is to bridge between the expats and Saudis. That is how I've been able to relate to a lot of people. They say, when it comes to the system in Saudi Arabia, how it works. Some of them are not aware. So I tell them, you know what, do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everything very straightforward, no
Yes.
glitches. In the past we had the Vasta system. There was a lot of Vastas, but now we don't have the Vasta system. Everything is pretty much direct. Everything is pretty much there. So if anybody is having issues understanding, or especially the education system, Fatima, I get a lot of ladies who text me and they say, how to apply for jobs, what are the rules right now, what do we need to do, what kind of education qualifications is basically required, will they take transfers, will they take sponsorships, itne sare, we get a lot of questions. I get a lot of questions, and I tell them, see, these are the rules. This is what the norm is. Because when you are a part of an education system where you are the direct contact with the Ministry of Education. For instance, I've got my sister-in-law who is working with the Ministry of Education, alhamdulillah. So any a doubt that I basically have, I reach it out to her. Then I've got colleagues who work with the Ministry of Education.
mashallah.
So yes, alhamdulillah. So whatever queries that people get me, I try to get straightforward answers. Not like, okay, try this. No, 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 try that. No, it's
Very
actually,
nice.
yeah, it's actually the information on spot. And if there's something I don't know, I'll tell them. I'm not sure. I don't know. And since I'm not sure, if you're planning to do something, I would not recommend. I would recommend somebody to wait and see. Because
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yes. Alhamdulillah.
yes. So I've been trying to be. I've been trying my best to be that link between the Saudi system and our expats who live in this kingdom, because both of them are, gems in their own places. But
Yes.
sometimes, that there is that, that thing that disconnects them. So I try
Yes.
to connect them, and I tell them, see, you know what, things they do flow, but all what you have to do is just have the right contacts to help you out with.
Yes. Yes. Mashallah. Mashallah. What language do you people speak in the house at
Oh,
home?
in my house, we speak Arabic mainly. And when I'm really very angry, you will see me blabbing a lot in English. And my daughters, they go like, now mommy is very angry. Don't bother her now. Urdu is what I speak with my parents.
Parents, yes,
Yeah,
same here.
yes,
My family also. My husband was born and brought up here. They all
mashallah.
speak. My kids, they all speak in Arabic at home.
Mashallah, mashallah.
I'm not that fluent in speaking Arabic, but Alhamdulillah, I can convey my message. I can talk in Arabic.
Mashallah.
Quite fluent, but not as fluent as Saudis are, of course,
Oh, for sure.
for sure.
There's
Yes,
always that thing, that bit of improvement that you need. When my Arabic improves the most, when I'm with the ministry government officials, when I'm working with them, that is when I really improve my language. And when that link goes away, and I'm doing a lot of English trainings,
Alhamdulillah.
yes, and the language slightly goes back a bit, and then I
That's how
come
you
into the
get
good way.
fluency. Language
Exactly.
fluency you always get by speaking only.
Precisely,
Yes.
precisely.
Okay. And what a coincidence that today in the today's session we both are Fatmas here.
Yes, Fatma and Fatma in the show.
Fatma, yes, Fatma and Fatma. And besides this, just tell me how much family support do you get for your work? Like your husband supports.
Yes, I believe that is very important. The reason why and how I'm here, I give credit to my family, to my parents, to my siblings also who supported me, because when my daughters were really small, I would leave my two young children with them. They would look after them while I'd be, working, traveling to the nearby cities, uh, abroad. That is where my kids would be most of the time. And obviously, definitely my husband, because he's standing next to me, he's
Mashallah.
my source of strength,
What
because he
else you
really
want?
understands me. Yeah, he's a source of strength, yes, Fatima, but you know what husbands are mainly? The the critics.
The
They
critics.
are the best critics.
Ask me about it.
Oh, ask me also. My husband. Oh. I will do everything, but he will focus on what I didn't do. He's like, you didn't do this. I'm like, I did all of this. At least give me credit for that. He's like, you always keep doing that. So they're like your mirror. It's like, oh, just look at this.
Alhamdulillah, as long as he's supporting, that's all a woman wants after marriage.
Alhamdulillah,
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 big thing.
alhamdulillah.
Coming back to the point, just tell me, you mentioned about this ELTAD-MA program. Would you
Mhm.
like elaborating what this is about?
Oh, this is a very creative kind of a program that we develop for teachers who are actually currently working in Saudi Arabia, and they cannot afford to leave their jobs and go to UK for their full-time study. So nowadays we get a lot of queries. They're like, can we do a
What
master's degree
qualifications are
online?
required if anyone wants to join this program?
Oh, we need a bachelor's degree.
Mhm.
It could be in any major. We also need some amount of teaching experience. Obviously, the more the teaching experience, the better, because this degree is for teaching professionals. So this program, they do it locally over here in Saudi Arabia. And then
Okay.
once they complete this, we help them transfer their credits to a UK university that we have an articulation agreement with. So,
Okay.
and the max, I think more than Delta. Delta is the equivalent qualification for LTAD. That's a level 7 qualification. So, what happens in this case is the candidates, they complete the program, they are able to transfer 80 credits. So when they enroll with a UK university, they only have to complete 2 modules and thesis. That's how
Mhm.
easy as it gets, and the duration would be anywhere between 6 to 8 months. And they go
Okay.
to UK, and this is a full-time degree, by the way. So
Okay.
they are registered
And how
as
long is
full-time.
this? How long is the program?
If they do it intensively without no break, an year and a half, or
Okay.
typically 14 months. And
Okay.
if they take some of their time, it can reach to about 2 years.
It's online?
No, it's mainly face to face. Even the right now, I mean, last year it was online because of COVID. This year we are having hybrid. We have got surprisingly, Fatima. Usually I have a lot of female teachers enrolling.
Mhm.
This is my first year where I'm dealing with only males.
Ah,
I've got all male
how
registrations.
difficult how difficult it is to tackle males.
Well, the good thing is I'm not the trainer. I
Okay.
have another trainer hired, a male trainer. He handles it, and
Okay.
my job is to overlook and make sure that their assessments are complete. They're to the point. They're attending their classes, because I'm the program director. So I'm usually informed. I'm responsible for things that are beyond teaching and training. My job is
Okay.
to make sure that they're successful in the program. I would still say that the females are really cooperative. They're full of energy and motivation, and they do things tuck, tuck, tuck. Males,
Masha.
they do need a bit of pushing. You have to push them.
Alhamdulillah.
Even to do master's degree programs, they have to push them.
Okay. So now your work is online, and you have institutes also where you are working or giving learning sessions and all.
Yes,
At
yes.
the
We are working in hybrid mode, Fatima. That means we
Okay.
have both face to face and online sessions. Say if
Perfect.
somebody is enrolled in a course with us, okay, say 50% of the sessions are being taken online, 50% should be and will be face to face.
Perfect. Perfect.
They're doing the
Okay.
hybrid model.
Okay. You mentioned about MENA and GFEL also. Would you like
Mhm.
telling what countries fall under this MENA and GFEL?
In MENA awards category, you mainly have the Middle East
Middle
institutions. So
East.
you are having countries like Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Oman,
Mhm.
Kuwait, Bahrain, all of these, UAE, all of these countries. So MENA awards is exclusive to this part. GFL is more diverse. They actually pick institutions from all over the world, and they look into their profile and they approach you. I usually get these emails where they say, you know what, pay this much and you get the award. Imagine, I do get such
Yes.
emails.
Yes.
But then I never go for them. But these people, they come to you after looking at your profile, after looking at your voluntary work. This is very important,
Okay.
Fatima. In our field, they say, oh, you must be working by the money. Half of the work that I do, Fatima, is voluntary. Whatever
Mashallah.
way I get paid is through the courses that we conduct, for instance,
Okay.
and whatever the institute is able to pay me. Yes. But apart from that, whatever I do, for example, I'm speaking at a conference. I go on my expenses. I spend. I
Oh,
present for free. I'm not getting paid. At the very most, I may get a 15% discount over the hotel that I'm staying in which the
oh,
conference is taking place. That's it. Or else, pretty much everything is not, unless and until you volunteer, you give back to the community, you cannot gain anything. This is what I've learned in my 15 years of teaching and learning career. Even teachers have to give back to the community in order to be successful, in order to be known to the community for whatever you're doing.
this is very hard and difficult as well. But I would appreciate that being a mother of a toddler, you
Now,
managed to you managed to do so much. Mashallah, mashallah.
alhamdulillah.
Okay. Today we discussed about some we took some topics to talk about. I'll just quote here. We want to discuss about self development,
Mhm.
self confidence, professional development. And if we get time, inshallah, if time permits us, we would discuss about IELTS and TOEFL also, inshallah.
Inshallah,
Okay,
inshallah.
so let's start. First of all, I would like to ask, what is self development?
Self development. Now, this is a term that is exclusive to the person who is actually visualizing the term. For me, self development is anything or everything in which I can improve, be it cooking, be it organizing, be it professional wise, personal wise, in any way. So for me, self development relates to my own development, how I have grown as a person, basically.
So
So
is it important? Is it necessary?
absolutely, or else your life will be too stagnant. I see, I follow your page, Fatma, and a lot of women, they say, "Oh, you know what? I don't have anything to do in this country. There are very few opportunities." But now, the country has evolved. If you would see when I was born during the Gulf War times, how we were during the King Fahad times. I mean, it was a lady back at that time would not be able to do anything. it
Yes.
was it was very hard, and then but now there's so many opportunities. But the most important thing is how we utilize our time for ourselves, which is very important. For self development, you can say that, okay, I don't want to be a working woman. You don't have to be a working woman. I choose to work. My sister, she did not choose to work, but she's doing a fantastic job, raising her three children. I choose to work because that's probably I'm designed that way from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I enjoy doing my tasks. So in each one of our roles, we develop. I develop in a way that, okay, I take up designing courses, I take up professional development courses that relate to my career, anything that will help me move forward. Okay, working women have got set of criteria. What about those who are not working and who choose not to work, which is absolutely fine? What do you do? What I've seen my sister do is, and a lot of other women um, who are homemakers, and hats off to them. Um, what I've seen them do is they develop themselves spiritually, mentally, and they try to hone their skills when it comes to their hobbies. My sister, she took up calligraphy, and she found the right person to teach her calligraphy. I didn't know that calligraphy is taught by people who are from a chain of authorized people to teach. So she found that, and she paints beautifully, and she makes sure she volunteers in whenever time and situation permits. She makes sure that she is there organizing little get-togethers, say for needy women, helping fill up a refrigerator, say in summer for water and everything. So involving myself in such tasks allows me to self-develop and be more aware and be more organized. Self development is, in a way, a boost to your confidence. When you do something for others, your self development, it actually improves uh, radically,
Improving oneself.
drastically it improves. You do something for others for a change. Let's not do something for ourselves. I mean, all of us are selfish. I mean, we always do stuff for ourselves, but giving your time, your effort for someone else is something that allows you to develop in all different terms, like physically, spiritually, mentally, psychologically. When you're giving, there is a sense of contentment it brings about. So it really helps you develop and reach that level.
If I
So it can be
ask
through
you,
courses. It can be through courses. It can be through anything.
like courses, like,
Yeah, you can do courses. You're not limited. like I said, I told you, my sister, she took up the calligraphy course with a well-known calligraphy artist. If one is into interior designing, they can and they would like to just go out and experience some life in Saudi Arabia, for instance. So they can enroll with some courses with Princess Noor University, and there are some institutes that follow. I think there's also Future Institute in Riyadh, if I'm not wrong. In Jeddah, we have some institutes that offer courses in English for interior designing, for instance. So they can enroll into that, just so they have that kind of an environment. And it is important for us to, as expatriates, actually most of the expatriates, to step out of the expat only zone. When you go out and you are able to mix with other people around you, multinational people, diversity, you are more accepting. And when you're doing that, Fatma, I think what the most important thing is not to label people. This is something I learned in my life. A lot of times, when I would go out and mingle with a lot of people in the beginning, when I was very naive. Now, though, alhamdulillah,
Alhamdulillah.
I've
Experience
crossed. Yeah,
was
I
that
have
limit, yes.
exactly. I have traveled internationally, locally, anywhere. So I have a very good understanding of that. But in the beginning, when I started mingling, I would label everybody, and I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that. And alhamdulillah, I'm glad that it was for a very short period of time. I was like, I come across this nationality and say, oh, all the people are like that. I would come across this nationality. I would say, oh, all the people are like that. No, they're not. Each one is very different. We cannot label. So once we stop labeling, once we stop stereotyping, and we accept people as they are,
Yes, they are.
it
Yes.
becomes very easy to interact with a diverse set of people, and not just a group of people who are only expats, or who are only Indians, or who are only Pakistanis. I see a lot of this lobbying, which is okay. I don't say that it's bad,
I agree with you. Yes.
but then being more diverse will allow us to experiment and look beyond. It also improves the level of maturity. This is what I've noticed in my case. I became more mature, more sensible, more accepting, more. I'm able to mingle with a lot of people. I can When I sit down with the Egyptians, I'm like them. Uh, when I sit down with Lebanese, I'm like them. When I sit down with Pakistanis, I'm like them. Okay, so you are more very culturally accepting. I think that is very important these days,
Yes,
rather
cultural.
than, yes, we need to embrace. Yes, nowadays we have a lot of photos, inshallah. So if there's something worth sharing, Fatima, I'll post it up in your group, just so ladies
Definitely. Would
can
love to
avail.
see you. Yes.
Yeah, yes, well, ladies can
Alhamdulillah.
avail such an opportunity where a lot. In our courses, when we were conducting it in Riyadh, we would have groups, varied groups. Fatima, we would have Egyptians, Lebanese, we would have Indians, Pakistanis, we'd have Saudis, we would have Americans, we would have British people, everybody enrolling in our course. So when whoever would enroll in our course would have a multicultural, environment, which is, I think,
Yes. Yes.
really good, very
The
healthy
best.
for one's own
Yes.
development.
Healthy environment. Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
If someone, I would like to ask you, if someone is not that educated, so how would she develop herself?
It depends on her. If she wants to proceed completing her studies academically, if that's her choice, then she can reach out to some of the, and she is, I'm assuming you are asking in the context of somebody who's already married, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When you're married, when you're with children, we are also having responsibilities. So looking at taking that into account, she would have to enroll in a university that is budget wise flexible, that is university wise, also accepted. At the same time, they cannot just enroll into random XYZ university. So she can begin with some local institutions. For instance, in Riyadh, I think you have got Arab Open University. They are still
Yes.
doable, and they're recognized. They're very well
Yes.
recognized.
Yes. They are recognized.
And or else she can study through her home country universities. Even that is fine. But the only issue studying distance learning wise is those degrees are not accepted in Saudi Arabia. But if that's not the issue, she can always go ahead. You
Hmm.
know, or if she chooses not to improve, not to focus on the academic side, but
Hmm.
more on the vocational side, then she can take up some really nice courses. I believe there are a lot of courses on Udemy, Coursera.
Hmm. Hmm.
Personally, I would prefer doing courses from well-known institutions, like there is Harvard, there's University of London. They've got courses for 6 months, 12 months,
Hmm.
so that boosts my confidence in some way. That's me. Anything else that works for anybody, that's fine. So it's either academic you develop or vocationally that you develop.
So we are already here. Just talk about this professional development. What is professional development?
Well, professional development is anything that allows you to proceed your career or progress in your career. And it also improves you as a person. So, and in professional development, you have got two things. You've got the courses that you need to move forward in your professional career, and the courses that you need to improve your own skills in order to move forward in your own career. So one is for the company or for the institute that you're working for, and the other one is for yourself. Now I deal with teachers and I deal with corporate industry as well. We do a lot of corporate trainings. So what I've seen in this case is the companies are very well aware, mashallah. They do the psychometric testing, in which they find out the profile of the employee, and accordingly they assign them courses, which is actually good. Some companies are doing that, but then there are some companies who don't. Schools over here, they still lack that um, you know uh, that system where they can integrate personality tests and then assign professional development accordingly. So I tell I tell my teachers to take the test themselves. So there are two tests that they can take. One is they can do a SWOT analysis on themselves, number one.
Hmm.
Number two, they can do the MBTI test for themselves. There are two tests
What
that
is
they can
that?
do. MBTI test. If you type in Google MBTI test, you have the free version, you have the paid version. So the
Okay.
free version will at least give you your personality type. It will tell
Hmm.
you what kind of a person you are, what are your needs, what actually motivates you, what actually puts you down. So it's more of a visual affirmation for the person.
Hmm.
We know ourselves, yes, but sometimes we need a visual affirmation to actually say, oh, you know what, that's me. Oh, this ticks me off. I didn't know that. Might as well work on it, right? So it's
Hmm.
sure. And with SWOT analysis, I'm sure if we have got any MBA people around here or somebody who's done business courses, SWOT analysis is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So a lot of people, they do that for the companies. The companies, they say this is our strength, this is our weakness. If you work on our strengths, we will have the opportunities. If we don't work on our weaknesses, it will lead to threats. Okay, the same thing you can do for your own personality. And our SWOT analysis keeps changing every 3 to 6 months. So because I work on my weaknesses, that becomes my strength, and then I have a new set of weaknesses.
Yes.
So I have to
Yes.
work on them, right? And with time, before getting my baby 5 months ago, mashallah, alhamdulillah, I could do everything, Fatima. I could do anything and everything.
Alhamdulillah.
Tell me, I'll do it. Why? Because I didn't have a lot of responsibilities. I didn't have a baby to look after. My girls are old enough, mashallah, alhamdulillah. One is 14, the other one is 12, which means that they can take care of themselves.
Mashallah.
They are in their rooms. The house is always clean, and
Clean.
I don't have to worry about what's happening back home.
That's the best part, when you have grown up girls.
Yes, and the house is quiet, and there's a routine that you stick to, and your whole life is going in smooth. But when you have a newborn, okay, after a period of 12 years, imagine the chaos. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Now, if previously when I would do SWOT analysis myself, you know,
Alhamdulillah.
I would have a lot of strengths and few weaknesses to work on. But this baby has literally squeezed me to an extent, making me feel so incompetent. And I'm like, okay, now this is working on. This means that I have to work on so many aspects of myself. This is this baby is like my eye opener. It's like, Fatma, look at yourself now. See, all this while you were in comfort. Now show how well you can do. Ab batao. कैसा करती हूँ देखो, let's
कैसे
see.
करते
Let's see. So 5 months in, alhamdulillah, I am able to manage my time. And if I'm sick, then it becomes a bit difficult. These days we are having those vaccines and stuff like that. So the health goes up and down. But apart from that, if I'm in the best shape, alhamdulillah, I'm able to do whatever I can. But I know now I have a limitation. I only establish tasks as listed, and the rest I leave it. And how do I do my professional development? I take part in conferences and workshops, and my mentors, they guide me, because it is at least so far in Saudi Arabia, it has been very difficult for me to find somebody who can give me advanced mentoring. So my mentor is based in UAE. Her name is Dr. Christine Combe, and I've got Dr. Naziha Ali, and she's from Pakistan actually. So both of these are my mentors, and they tell me, Fatma, do this, Fatma, do that. Even though I'm a very good speaker, alhamdulillah, I wouldn't say, no, I shouldn't say I'm a very good speaker. I'm still learning.
But I can see.
I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
I give the credit to Toastmasters for this one. I presented in conferences, and one day, Dr. Aziha, she comes and she tells me, Fatma, why don't you join Toastmasters? I was like, why would I need to join Toastmasters? I present in conferences. It's not just local, it's international conferences I've been presenting in. Do I really need public speaking skills? And then I was like, okay, since my mentor, she's recommending, let me be a part of it. Okay. Now, this is my professional development journey since 2 years. And she called me in. And one day, my icebreaker. Now, in Toastmasters, what we do is we start with an icebreaker round. You pick a pathway first where you want to specialize, and then you keep moving forward. And then my icebreaker speech came in. And then I presented. And oh, my evaluator was beautiful. She said, amazing speech. And I knew I would get that kind of feedback. Okay. Talk about the height of overconfidence. Okay. I was very happy. And then my speech levels started. I started with level one, speech one. My evaluator was there. And she went like, yalla, shoo. So I started and I presented, and I was 200% sure I would get a really nice feedback, and I'll be voted as the best speaker,
Best
because
speaker.
in the icebreaker round I wanted the best. For this one, I didn't get nominated as the best speaker. Even I was not even a thing in the category. I was over the time limit. Number one. So this disqualifies you in some way, but there were not many speakers, so they didn't disqualify me at that time. Secondly, my evaluator had a set of comments and feedback for me. She said, this one needs improvement. Vocal variety needs to be there. Your structure, you have to improve on your structure. For the first time, I think in 4 years, for the first time in 4 years, I had a heart attack. It's like, Magula? Magula, I have so many points to look for myself.
You know, that is very good actually. When you get mentors and teachers like that who really point out such things to you that make you
Exactly.
improve yourself. So this really helps, you know.
Exactly. Very, very, Fatima. So it took me 2 days to digest that. When you're living in a world of perfection, when you feel that, oh, you know what, you don't need to do anything, right? Then eventually Toastmasters, it comes in my life and it gives a thump and it says, Yalla, get up.
You
What do
know,
you
so
think of
Sumera
yourself?
is laughing. Sumera is really enjoying the conversation.
So you see, that's the whole point, Fatima, right? We have to make this show not only enjoyable. I'm not going to talk about the rote learning stuff. No, no, no. We are going to talk about our journey, how we can help each other as women.
Yes,
So
yes.
these two strong women in my life, they came in, and I'm very thankful to Dr. Naziha for referring me to Toastmasters. So it was like really a slap in my face. And next
Alhamdulillah.
time the next time I started preparing for my speeches, and next time I started even practicing my speeches, and I made sure that I'm meeting the goals and objectives. I'm going by the book. I'm actually watching the lectures that are posted there. What is it that I can bring new in myself as a public speaker? because even public speakers have a responsibility. Did you know that,
Yes,
Fatima?
yes,
You
of
know, when we
course.
are
Very,
presenting,
very big responsibility.
very big responsibility because we
And
are
when you are
influencing
influential
people with our
person,
words. Hmm.
and when you are influential person and you have thousands and thousands people following you, it's a huge responsibility.
It's a
The
huge
word you are
responsibility.
saying, people listen to you.
Exactly, exactly. And
They
they
follow
and they
you.
be- they and most important thing is, Fatima, what I feel is the belief. When people believe
Believe,
in you
yes.
so much,
They
they
have
trust
trust
you
on you.
so much. Wallahi al-azim, any word that comes out of my mouth, people are taking it, at the back.
Exactly,
They're
exactly.
actually following you. So it's a big responsibility. So that is when it started really tricking me. I was like, no, I have to really improve. So I opted for my pathway in Toastmasters, called persuasive influence, because since I am in a position where I'm able to actually influence the way people think, so might as well work on this. I completed level 1 with a lot of feedback points, and level 2 I came up to another level. Before, when I would talk on such interviews, or when I would present speeches even, um, I would have a lot of ums and ahs. And this is regarded as something, negative. They say you should cut down on the ums and ahs. So I've been trying my level best to work out on that. And alhamdulillah, it has allowed me. So the characteristics of a good flow of speech is what I've learned. So a lot of people, they come and they ask me, they PM me and they ask me, Ms. Fatma, how can we develop our spoken skills? If you really want, but you have to be a part of a Toastmasters group that is not too biased. Just there's so many Toastmasters groups they can explore. As guest members, they can explore, and the group that you are able to relate to the most, they can sign up with them. And believe me, these projects, they give you another level of confidence because you are being rated by professionals in their field. Sometimes even I get rated by somebody who is similar to me even, but the most important thing is how we take the constructive feedback to ourselves. Yes, she may not have, she is only on level 1 and she's my evaluator. Sometimes it happens, and it's absolutely okay. I'm in level 2, how can she evaluate me? uh, but there are some points that she may notice from her perspective, and we have to respect that. We have to take it into account if it applies to you. In the end, it's up to you whether you want to work on those points or you don't want to work on those points. If it's valid, you will definitely work.
Alhamdulillah. So
Alhamdulillah.
your evaluators, your mentors, the courses that you did, they all helped you getting this confidence, this level of confidence. So were you
Alhamdulillah.
like this in your college level also?
Yes, I
You
was
have this
pretty
level of
much
confidence
aware.
there also?
I think I'm more confident now. I think back then I was very timid, very shy. Can you believe that?
Same here.
I was very timid, very
Same
shy.
here. That's why I
Sometimes
intentionally ask you, because even I was a very shy person.
very,
I have done my bachelor's in architecture, and we
mashallah.
used to give a lot of presentations in the university, standing right in front of so many males
Mhm.
and females.
Mhm.
And I always used to, shiver, my
Shiva.
body used to shiver like this in front, and swallowing this
Your
very
throat
difficult.
is dry,
Yes,
your hands are shaky, and you're sweating, and at
sweating
the
and
same
shivering.
time,
Yes,
and you fear you're going to forget your lines.
yes, same here. But now when people see me, I can talk Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah in front of thousands of people, because we have developed ourselves. That is what our topic is also.
Mm,
Today's topic is also, yes, the self-development and
very.
professional development. Yes. Okay, let's move to you teach or give lessons to IELTS and TOEFL also, right?
Yes, yes, I do. Yes.
So, what is an IELTS exam, and what is the
Oh,
difference between TOEFL and IELTS?
okay. It's very interesting. I'm a certified IELTS instructor, and I've worked with the British Council and ITP, both of them, as an examiner and as a trainer, both ways. And IELTS, as I know, a lot of people have been taking up IELTS lately for Canadian immigration, and it's also for academic purposes. You do it both ways, right? So, and IELTS is a test of proficiency, English proficiency, and the same thing is for TOEFL. It is a test of English as a foreign language, right? And then over here in IELTS, you have International English Language Testing System. So this is UK based. TOEFL one is the US based. Nowadays, IELTS is everywhere. So you don't really find a lot of TOEFL or TOEFL based centers unless one is applying at a US university, and they plan to they only accept TOEFL scores. But nowadays, IELTS is accepted everywhere, be it American universities or UK universities, is pretty much there. And people take IELTS for two purposes: either for uh,
Immigrations, yes.
or for academic purposes. And each one has a band score.
Mm.
For immigration, there's a definite need for 6.5 and up. That's the band score that's expected. And if somebody wants to go in for an express entry, then is 8777. So 8 in listening, 7 in reading, writing, and speaking. So you have got the three skills. The same thing is in TOEFL as well. TOEFL is now only TOEFL is called as IBT now, internet based TOEFL. So everything is computerized. Their questions are very much integrated skill related. That means you will have to read a passage and listen to a dialogue and probably write up a summary like that. But then IELTS is slightly more exam oriented, where you have listening, reading, and writing done together. They can do it on paper, they can do it on computer based. Yes, IELTS also has computer based exam as well. The paper based exam results, they take roughly about 13 days. CBT test results take between 3 to 5 days. So anybody who wants to score really quickly and they're good with computers, I suggest that they go for CBT because it saves time. It's pretty much the same cost, so they don't have to worry about that.
Is it
And
easy, and how long is it valid for?
oh, it's valid for 2 years. IELTS is valid for 2 years. I believe even TOEFL is valid for 2 years. But do you know, Fatma, why is it valid for 2 years?
No.
Yeah. Hi, Nushra. I'm good. I'm good. Okay, I can see your messages. That's why I'm replying. Okay. So, as far as the validity, a lot of people say, why does it expire? Why does the IELTS score expire? Okay. Now, a while ago, Fatma, you and I, we were talking about how our fluency keeps changing, right? When you are around the Arabic people, or when you are speaking Arabic back at home or elsewhere, definitely your fluency is a lot better.
Of course.
And then when you stop that for a while, your fluency actually goes down, and it actually does. According to the second language acquisition theories, those of us who are English teachers here watching this, they would know as to why our fluency goes up and down. Okay. The same thing is with the IELTS. Somebody who took up an exam 2 years ago, maybe the English was not so good, right? And he got a 6.5. He tests after 2 years and he finds that he's a 7.5 to 8 because he's been in touch with the language for so long, right? Then there are people who were really good because they took up, they did their IELTS exam and they immediately finished college, right?
Hmm.
3 years they were not in touch with the language itself, or 2 years they were not in touch with the language, so their proficiency level goes down, which
Hmm.
is why it needs to be, you one needs to be tested again and again for IELTS. That's why the IELTS score, it expires based on the fact that your proficiency keeps changing.
Anyone can give this IELTS or TOEFL.
Anybody can give.
No
Anybody who's
specific
good.
qualifications are required.
No, 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 no. It's just a general English test. And there isn't, and you know what is the most surprising part? I get a lot of queries on this one. A lot of people, they ask me, oh, will you help us pass the IELTS exam?
Hmm.
Okay. Oh, I don't want to fail in IELTS exam. There is no such thing as pass or fail in IELTS exam. It's only whether you want to achieve your band score or not, or and it will generally only display your English proficiency level at this point. Like 6.5, like a 7, a band score of overall band score of 7 is a C1. C1 is the highest level of proficiency, right? Anything less than 7 is B2 level, which is intermediate level proficiency. C1 is
So,
advanced level proficiency.
so they can give the test just like that, or there is something, some book, or maybe
They
some
can,
institute they can join, or any
they
book that you
can.
can refer.
Oh, Bob, they can actually join any institute for IELTS training. But if they want to do the preparation by themselves, then they can refer to the Cambridge test series, which is what we examiners or we trainers we usually recommend. We do not take any other resources, and we've got a very good reason for that. When we were getting trained by the British Council, the one of our fellow colleague trainee, he asked, "Oh, can I use so and so book, say Barron's book, okay, for IELTS preparation?" Now, a Barron's book is something that you would find in the stores, in Jarir bookstore, everywhere, right?
mm, mm.
Our trainer, she said no, and I asked her why. She said the testing material that you're preparing for, you should only buy it from those who publish the tests. Okay,
Ah,
so this test is by Cambridge, right? So they should only refer to the Cambridge books. Why? Because they are making the test question bank based on the criteria in which the exam will appear, right?
okay.
But the other publishers, they may not do the needful. I wouldn't say that you're not supposed to do it them or anything, but the highly recommended material is definitely the ones from Cambridge. So the series, you've got the Cambridge series. I think now 16 or 17 is going on. I have not seen the Cambridge series 18 out yet. So they can refer to that. And nowadays, a lot of material is also available online for Cambridge as well. So a lot of people can just sign up, make a small payment. Now you ask me, anybody can take up the exam? Yes, anybody can take up the exam, but this exam is not cheap. It costs
Ah,
roughly about
how much does it cost?
1,400 riyals roughly,
Wow.
including that. 1,375 to 1,400 roughly. There was one time, Fatima, when the exam was only for 800 riyal.
Wow.
Back in my times, it was 850. From 850, inclusive
Quite
of
expensive
that,
now.
it's almost clearly to a double. So, well, if somebody wants to appear for an IELTS exam, okay. But there's another thing. If you've got medical professionals here watching this show, Fatima, so for them, I would not. And if they were asked to take the IELTS exam, ask your authorities if they can give, if you guys can give the OET instead. Now, there's there's not a lot of awareness going on regarding OET exams.
What is that?
OET exams are occupational English tests. I'm a certified trainer there as well. So this is only for medical professionals.
Wow.
And it allows them to give exams in their own subject. So that means they are going to give exams in, say, a doctor would only deal with medical subjects. And then they have OET exam for nurses. They would only give it for nurses. And then you've got exams for radiologists, their exams. Nutritionists, they have their own set of exams. So, and it will be based on their context. For example, when you give the IELTS exam, you have any passage or every passage coming in from randomly anywhere. It could be a science passage, it could be a social science, it could be an engineering passage, it could be for all an arts passage. It could be in from any genre, right? But with OET, it's specific. When I'm training nurses, I'm dealing with the training material for OET for nurses. And in nurses, what do? They've got reading passages related to ailments, case studies regarding patients, how the professional development when they are attending a professional development course, how they respond back. Did they hear the professor correctly and all of that? So they're being tested also on reading, writing, listening, and speaking, but it's relevant to their context. Unlike IELTS, which pretty much covers everything. And in IELTS, you've got two kinds. You've got academic and general. General is for immigration, in which they can bring up topics of different kinds. In academic IELTS, the kind of questions you have are based on journals,
Hmm.
mainly journals. They bring in journal articles for the questions. So you've got to weigh out your options. So somebody who is in the medical profession, it would suit them more to go for OET if it's accepted. I know for licensing purposes, in some cases it's accepted. In UK, it's fully accepted. It's approved by the NHS, so they can take up OET there. And for English exams, if somebody is looking for IELTS alternative, uh, and the person wants to go to UK for study, there's also the IELTS exam. So it's not just the IELTS. You've also got the IELTS. You've got the Pearson tests also available. So you have to see which one works out for us. There's slightly cheaper ones, but they're approved by the universities.
Alhamdulillah. I never knew this. Jazakallah khair for gaining my knowledge also. Alhamdulillah. So basically, we have covered almost all the topics that we chose for today.
Mhm.
So, any advice, anything else that you want to tell us?
Okay, I wouldn't advise. I don't think, Fatima, I'm yet in a position to advise anybody. I still have got so much to learn, and but what I can do is, if you've got any questions, I would be more than happy to answer. Um, and I'll try my level best. Like I told you, I would love to be that bridge for you. A lot of people either fall on the two sides, okay, on the Saudi side or on the expat side. I would like to be that bridge that helps you connect information, the right information. So today we spoke about IELTS. Today we spoke about the English proficiency test. We spoke about self-development. We spoke about professional development. Anything and everything as women, it's your call. What you feel, you should do it. And what you feel right, you should do it. And or if you feel something like bad for somebody, just leave that. I'm talking about the good part. The good part. If you feel that okay, this is something I should do, you should do that. I think that's the best advice. Follow your heart. Your and always do istikhara and follow your heart. This is the best advice I can give.
And that's the best part of being bilingual also, like
Yes.
Arabic and English. You can address more audience, and
Yes.
yes, teach more people, alhamdulillah. So jazakallah khair again for your
Yeah.
precious time, for sharing
Exactly.
your precious knowledge with us.
Thank you
May
so
Allah
much.
help you and reward you immensely.
Jazakallah
Jazakallah
khair.
khair again, my love. And I would, inshallah, bring you again when you will work
Anytime.
more, reach some level, inshallah.
Inshallah.
I'll invite you again in my talk show. So,
Anytime.
and Jazakallah khair. And people who are our audience today, anyone, if we have new people here and you want to know about what Sayyidat Global Talk Show is about, follow not me, follow Ibrahim Qureshi on on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook. Next weekend, inshallah, I'll be back again with another topic, with another amazing guest speaker, inshallah. Till then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah.
Yeah.